Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. Here, this is the spot where the conversation is pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Welcome home, Brains. There's only one requirement to hang out on the edge, is that you open your big brain and close your small mind. Did you bring your thinking caps? It's time to put them on, because the conversation starts now. To On the Edge with April Mahoney and Anita Prendergast. Did I say it right? Prendergast.
Close. We're perfect.
Okay, Prendergast. I got it, brains. Just take me a minute. Okay, give me a minute. We're here on the edge, the place where the conversation is pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. We're going to talk about parenting, loving, mothering, and massage. Oh, all of that. All of it goes together. You know, we got to work it out. Our guest today is very profound and educated in all of those areas and very loving too. And look at that silver hair. I'm going to talk about it because it is striking. So many women do not have the courage to do it. I got the courage to do it up under this hair option. I really do. And it just makes you more beautiful. It allows you to embrace the essence of who you are and who you are yet to be. So without further ado, we want to introduce you to Anita. Hi, Anita.
Hi, thank you for having me. And I appreciate that lovely introduction. And like you said, with the silver, it is it is a process and it is brave to step into that. So
Yes.
I'm glad you recognize that. And for all the other ladies out there who may be thinking about going for it, just go for it.
Just go for it. And a friend of mine that has a lot of patents with hair care said that putting those chemical lye, they made like it was made before, lyes and colors and different type of things, it really seeps into your brain and can contribute to brain damage, to strokes, to what is that, not autism. What is it? The
dementia or
dementia, Alzheimer's. So be careful with that stuff. That's poison.
Yes, mine was more superficial than that. And I was just going bald from trying to dye this area right here. So I told my husband I could either be bald or I can be gray. And so we chose gray.
I had one right here in my crown from getting chemically treated perms. It was just getting so thin. And I was like, I don't want to get no thinner than I have to. So I decided to go all natural and get, start wearing my afro and some cornrows or hair option. And, just take it where it is. But you have beauty in so many ways. You work with, I love that top too, by the way.
Thank you.
So many times we stay stuck or we give too much to others without reserving enough for ourselves. We have to refuel our tank. Tell us a little bit about your story, your history, where you are, and what you're doing today.
Right, absolutely. So talking about pivoting, so I started out as a preschool teacher and I found out that I just love working with kids and eventually, but it didn't allow me time to be with my family and it didn't pay the bills. So what I did was I went to massage therapy school. I became a massage therapist. And the part that I loved about that was the connection. So I connected with moms who were having babies. So I did my practice on prenatal massage. And in that process, I noticed moms were asking me questions about motherhood, about becoming a mother and about parenting. And since I had the background in the early childhood education, I was able to help them along that path. So I just took all of that information. I said, you know what? Along the lines, no matter where you are, whether it's your first child or your fifth child, adoption, surrogacy, whatever it is, at some point in time, all moms are going to ask the question, am I being a good mom or will I be a good mom?
Well, it's all subjective and it's all relevant because what is a good mom? Sure, that's someone that feeds you and nurtures you and talks to you and love you, but are they mentoring and are they molding you? Are they allowing you to, grow at your pace? Are they being controlling? Are they not giving you the information that you need to fight on the battlefield of life? There's a lot going on. And early childhood education, thank you for being a preschool teacher. Teachers and nurses are two of my favorite people on the planet. It takes a lot to nurture somebody else's child, try to educate them. And sometimes they bad, but most of the time they just want love and they want structure. So
Exactly.
when you got into this prenatal massage, tell me a little bit about that because I am addicted to massage. There's a lot of people that don't like to be touched, maybe because they've been violated or they don't know how to relax. But what is it about a prenatal massage that really relaxes and stimulates not only the mother, but the baby?
Right. Well, prenatal massage is awesome because it's your first touch. It's really the first touch that your infant have because they are connected to you physically. So whenever you're touching the mom, you're also affecting the baby. So a lot of times I'll ask a mom, how did the baby like it? And they'll say whether he was active or whether, she was rested or anything like that. So it's definitely that connection. And I'm glad that you talk about the differences of what people think of a good mom because I grew up in a very loving household and it broke my heart to realize that some people didn't grow up like that. And so that's part of why I started in the mom coaching business, because sometimes moms don't know. They only know what they know. And so I've developed these tools that, moms can use to help them navigate life, navigate motherhood, help their children from infancy all the way into young adulthood.
Well, because they don't know. And you've got young mothers, babies having babies. They have no support. There's no father there. Their parents have shamed them. The church has shamed them. So they need someone with a tender ear, someone that's going to be empathetic, someone that's going to be a coach, a mentor, a teacher. Again, I thank you for that because it's taken on a lot of responsibility. They're really looking to you because they have no other alternatives. It could be an abusive relationship. So many things could go wrong. But on the flip side, there's a lot of stuff that could go right. That's like me. My pregnancy was bliss. Girl, we laughed and we giggled and we talked and he said push and I said no. But it's great. And to be able to have someone coach you through that process because giving birth is not for chumps.
No, absolutely, it's not. And then we have to think of the what's behind giving birth. There's so much pressure to put up that moms go through even before the baby is born. Should I do the natural childbirth? Should I do this? And I coach moms through that whole process where, it really doesn't matter what way you choose, whether it's natural, whether it's in a hospital, whatever it is, it's just how you feel inside and making sure that that your mental health counts as well, that you are the center of this whole thing. The baby's going to need you to be healthy and happy. So just do what you think is right for you. If that means taking the epidural, take the epidural. If that
Girl,
means doing
I was like, can you give me one of them? No, not an epidural. I like the Demerol.
if that
I
means to
told, could you put a little bit in the vial? I could take it home with me. It's no shame to that, but you have hypnobirthing now. You've got underwater birthing. You just got straight natural birthing. You've got midwiferys. You've got doulas. I mean, you could just have a full-on production. What's going
right.
on? But what women don't understand too, a lot of times, and I'll be 100 with you, is that it's wonderful to have your man in there with you and to be a part of the birth experience. But he gets a little weird afterwards.
Well, you know what? Yes, it's good to add the fathers in because oftentimes they do get left behind. But it definitely, when you add dads into the mix, it creates a more well-rounded balance for the infant. I know my husband and I, we parent in totally different ways. Like what he does, I think is crazy, and I'm pretty sure what I do, he thinks is crazy. So, but it works. It works for the both for our kids.
Crazy is good sometimes. They need to be able to, one's a disciplinarian, one is the nurturer, and then vice versa. I just don't like to be played and pitted against my husband, and they're gonna play that. They're gonna play that song too. That's just a part of growing up. How many children do you have?
Well, my husband and I, we've been together for almost 20 years now. So we have mine, his, and ours.
Oh,
My oldest is 25, and our middle, well, his my stepson is in the middle. He's 20, and then our daughter together is just turned 18. So
so
we
blending a
definitely have a
family.
blended family. Yep.
So let's talk a little bit about blending a family because you're working with mothers. You know, you got to put on your big girl panties, ladies, to blend a family. It's not easy. Okay, you got a lot of contributing factors. My suggestion, because we have a blended family too, is just take it easy. Sit back and be the observer. Have an open line of communication with your spouse because he's confused too, or she's confused too. You know, is this person going to be kind to my child? What kind of kerfuffle is going to happen with the biological parent? How is my child going to receive this? Do they feel that they're less than? Because when you have a child with your new, you know, we had a daughter. How is the first child going to feel? Like, you know, am I being abandoned? How do you walk mothers through those kind of situations? Families are not in the traditional setting of once upon a time. There's a lot of variances and nuances, same sex couples, there's surrogates, there's infertility, there's adoption, there's fostering, a whole lot of different ways. But do you work with couples of the same sex? You know, I've got guests that's coming on now. One is going to carry the female, and then the other female is going to be in the supportive role. Then I have another couple, gay couple, that they are using a surrogate. I don't know how I would feel to carry a baby 9 months and then hand them over to someone else. I'd want to be a part of their life. What are some of the situations that you deal with, you know, working with that dynamic in that population?
Well, first of all, I would love to have had a surrogate because I did terribly with my kids.
Oh,
But this group I love working with because there are not a lot of resources out there for them. So I think that I have a special set of resources for bonding for moms and dads who go through surrogacy or adoption. Or like I said, even one parent, there's like two females, so one would carry, and then the other one might feel a little left out. So I teach massage for bonding with the babies because
wow.
what happens is that the sense of touch is the very first thing that's developed in the womb. So it has the direct connection to the brain. So when you touch someone, you're making that real deep connection with them.
Mm,
So when I teach them massage therapy, the infant massage or toddler or couples massage, then that's a great way to bond with one another so that no one really feels left out.
right. You know, feeling left out. Let's talk about the postpartum. Girl, the cuckoo
Yeah.
crazy. Because I had it. I had it for a minute, but I recognized it. You know, I was sitting there, I had got myself all cute, smelling good, dressed the baby up, set her to the side, cooking dinner, and then I started to lactate. Then she started to scream. Then she threw up all over it. Girl, it went from a flicker to a flame. And the emotions. I just read in the paper the other day that a woman put her baby in the oven.
Mm.
That's an extreme case. Postpartum is real, and there's no shame associated. Your hormones are raising. Some people have babies and they're not meant to be parents. They just don't bond, they just don't connect. What do you say to those people?
Right, exactly. That's actually one of the reasons why I started this area of practice because I heard about this shaken baby syndrome. It was on the news years and years ago, where which still happens unfortunately today. And it just broke my heart because I realized that that was just a mom who was frustrated. And then on top of that, they took her other kids away and then she went to jail. I'm like, she just needed resources. Like you said, she
Yeah,
has a condition that postpartum depression is not a criminal offense. She needs resources. So, like I said, with the bonding and with the connection, that helps. If there is a real issue, then definitely get professional help,
mm-hmm.
but sometimes there are things that we can mitigate those reactions and just taking a break, like I said, handing the baby off to someone else, is better than shaking them or putting them in a microwave or whatever, just being able to hand them off to someone else. And that's where the my family my life my way game plan comes in, where you actually say, okay, when I'm feeling this way, I can call these three people.
Right.
You
Right.
know.
Exactly. And
Mhm.
there's no shame associated with that. Where the shame is going to come in is when your butt is in the court of law, or you
Yes.
sitting there regressing and thinking about what I could have done. Because okay, you may not be able to control your emotions, have anxiety, whatever, but you know when it's coming on, and you know what that trigger is. Sometimes the trigger is not being with your partner too. That was the first thing our pediatrician told us. Find a good babysitter. You still need to have some intimacy with your partner. That is very important because they feel left out. They can't get a sandwich, much less some loving or some cuddling or watching the TV. The baby's always crying. And then if you have a child that has special needs. I had a guest on my show that really resented her brother because he took so much of mama's time.
Mm.
Doctor's appointments, medication, and then, her mental psyche. She never had a minute for herself. How do we support those individuals?
Right. So that is very unfortunate, and that makes me sad as well, which is another reason why I developed this program, because it's all about resources and, like you said, about knowing what is that trigger for you. So one of the things that my husband and I have done was we started date night, like once a week. Every Friday is our date night, and it's no matter what's going on. So, even when the kids are
Yeah,
young,
ours is Sunday morning. We go to breakfast every Sunday morning.
yes. So you have a date, just even if it's just an hour out of the week where, you're going to connect with that significant other, and you can have the date night or date day with your other child who, doesn't have the special needs. So make sure that you carve out that specific time. Um, I talk about the P's for providing the perfect massage. I think we talked about this when we first met.
No,
And
break them down to them, girl.
And right. And so what I noticed that, and perfect is in quotes, because what I noticed that the P's for providing the perfect massage also relates for the P's for practically perfect Arrington. Notice how I did that,
Mm,
right? And
right,
it's the same thing. So I talk about being present. When you start a massage, you start with your presence. We started that when we started our conversation. We sort of was just present in the room with each other. So that's the same thing with parenting. You have to be present with your kids and with your spouse individually with intention, right?
right.
And then,
Exactly, exactly.
right,
You got to set the mood. It,
you
it's
do.
it's all mental, brains. I know it's a lot of work on the brain. That's why I call y'all's brains, because you're smart. And you can hold all of this information, and you can edit, and you can filter. You know what's important to you. Again, everybody is not meant out to be parents, but you can learn. You can learn to cope. There's a lot of young women out there that are pregnant and didn't realize what this was all going to entail. You can still go to school. You can still make something out of your life. You've got someone to depend on you. There are women out there that have not been able to conceive. I had another woman on my show, has 16 miscarriages, girl.
Mm,
16 miscarriages. But you know what? She is now a doula and has supported 450 births.
that's awesome.
So, God designs the plan. We just have to follow suit. It's never too late. There are great, great resources like Anita, that is giving her time and attention to helping you through these situations. Please consult with her, contact her, make a phone call. If she's not in your area, you can always Zoom like we doing, or like we've been trying to do, because we didn't have some issues with this interview, but all the information is still relevant, and we're working hard at it because we want it right and we want it for you. Anita, please tell my brains how to get in contact with you so that they can have an opportunity to share in your knowledge.
Awesome. Yes. So you can contact me by visiting my website, thegoodmom.org. And I call myself the Good Mom Coach, because when was the last time you started anything without a coach, right? Without the knowledge. When you start on a team, how do you expect to win? You have to have a really good coach. If you start on a job, a lot of people get business coaches or life coaches. So as moms, like you just said, sometimes we just go and we wing it. And some people are good at it and great, and that's fine. But some people really need that coach to guide them to having a successful family and to navigate motherhood.
And that's beautiful. That's a very unique niche to be a birthing. Okay, so you're the good mom coach. So that includes everything from massage to consultation to counseling to resources, all of that, all wrapped up into one.
Right, exactly. So my background is in the massage and in early child care development. So just really getting moms, especially new moms, whether it's their first child, their fifth child, surrogacy, adoption, to really navigate motherhood in a way that we probably didn't know what to do. I know I didn't know how to do it when I first started, and it led to
I ain't
overwhelming
either.
burnout.
I ain't either.
Mhm.
I didn't have too many arrows, but I had a whole lot of trials.
Right,
I
right.
did. And the conversation is key. Don't talk at your kids. And if they ask you a question that you think is inappropriate, answer the question. They're going to be on to something else in a few minutes later. But answer them. Talk to them
Absolutely.
like they're little people. Let them know your name. I know so many kids, that's my mommy. Don't even know their mama's name. Get lost
Uh,
in the store. It's just little basic things that you can do that could make the difference, in someone's life, especially in a child's life. And if you see a child that is, hungry for attention and there's a way for you to be an influence in their life, please extend yourself. There's so many kids out here. My little neighbor down the street. During COVID, he was going crazy. I told him, come on down here with me and Mr. Magnificent. Girl, we planted us a garden, and Mr. Magnificent took him in the shed and showed him how to make a birdhouse. He thinks we're the best thing since peanut butter and jelly.
that's awesome because it takes a village,
It
right?
takes
So
a village. People
that's
have
my
lost that
point.
mentality. They've lost that sight that, I am my brother and sister's keeper. And it does take a village, you
Right.
know.
So I do have courses on my villageacademycourses.com website where that is your village, where you can learn the techniques for massage, you can learn the techniques for bonding, for colic, for whatever it is for the family bonding basically. So it definitely takes a village to raise a child and a
I'm glad you
family.
got something on colic because a friend of mine did not handle that colic too well. Not at
Yeah,
all. And that can be tough, but it's tough on the baby too because it's their
it
tummy.
is.
So
Mhm.
you're not tough on us and you're beautiful on the eyes. Thank you so much, Brains. I need you to go in and subscribe right here. This place right here. You see that? I'm gonna put it real close so you can see it. On LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We are here for you. Uh, to give you the information and the resources that you need. If there's anything that we don't cover, let me know. Send me a note. I'll get right on it. So thank you so much, Anita, for being here on the edge. You are a jewel. I appreciate you.
Thank you, April.
All right. Bye, Brains.
Bye bye.